A new skate park in Norwich costing around £300,000. It's going to cover an area of 1,000 square metres in Eaton Park and will give skateboarders, BMXers and inline skaters a chance to improve their skills. The park would be of a high enough standard to host national competitions. The council also hopes it'll reduce skating elsewhere in the city and cut down on antisocial behaviour.
BMX, inline skates and skateboarding has been a real fad for a long time, and so much so that it's clearly not going to go away. We're keen to encourage young people to get involved in doing things which keep them healthy, keep them fit, are good for their skills, and also it's a distraction to stop them doing other things which maybe would be less acceptable, let's say.
An Essex landmark may have been saved from destruction by the sea after winning funding for repairs. Essex County Council has agreed to donate £500,000 towards protecting the Naze Tower by strengthening the cliffs around Walton on the Naze. The project will cost £1.2 million, with the remaining money coming from tendering district council and local fundraisers.
Now then, the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy. Remember them? They cost about £200 million to make, took 8 years to shoot in New Zealand and took an incredible $3 billion at the box office.
Now compare that to Born of Hope, a new film inspired by the Rings trilogy made by a Cambridge actress. It cost about £25,000 and took 18 months to make. As for the profits, well, it's free to watch on the internet.
I'd like to say that Kate Madison, the film's producer, director, who's from Cambridge, and presumably everything else on the film is here. Kate, let's just start off with that question. Why? You put yourself through so much in such a short space of time to do this. Why did you do it?
Well, it started as a small idea that snowballed, basically, but it's also a great opportunity for people who are up and coming and don't really get the recognition that they need in the film industry, whether they're an actor or a makeup artist or whatever, to do something a little bit different and to do something that's a bit bigger rather than your little kitchen sink drama sort of short film, basically.
Now, you've had so much support making this film. You could almost make a film about the film. I can't believe, looking at it online, that it cost you so little.
Yeah, well...
is that true?
Yes, it is true.
Figures are extraordinary, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, nobody gets paid to make it, and that's a fundamental thing. I mean, we just couldn't afford that. So everyone was working for free. And also, as we went along, because we didn't have a budget, we were constantly sort of asking locations if they would let us film there for free or low cost, and borrowing equipment and everything like that. So just sort of scrimping by what we could, and a lot of goodwill from people.
Let's talk about some of those locations then, because it wasn't New Zealand, was it? It's a little bit of East Anglia all over the place. Tell us about where you filmed.
Yeah, most of our locations are in East Anglia. Our main sort of village location is Weststow's Anglo-Saxon village.
Right.
And that was our main place for the whole film. And we also filmed lots of it in Epping Forest as well.
Right.
And that was
a few strange looks, or...?
Well, the thing is, all the locations were open to the public while we were filming, because we couldn't afford to close them all down. So, yeah, you had lots of public people walking around and sort of going, what are they doing, and things. But we even ended up recruiting a young baby who was walking around with their parents, because we needed a scene we'd forgotten to do with a baby Aragorn.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, oh, you've got a baby, can we use it? And they were like, yeah, great.
So, what of the future then? Lord of the Rings, obviously a trilogy. Any plans?
Not for another fan film, but there's definitely plans for another fantasy film. We want to do these sort of films, and obviously lots of people are interested in seeing them, and I love making escapism films and watching them. So yeah, there's probably another fantasy film on the horizon, not very far away. So keep an eye out for us, and yeah, you might learn about a new one.
That's very good to hear. Thank you so much, Kate, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, he's an iconic character who many of us will remember from our youth. But Dennis the Menace has had a bit of a makeover recently, and one fan from Suffolk doesn't like it.
Yep, gone are the days of Dennis using his pea shooter and bullying Walter. Instead, that scowl's been replaced by a cheeky old grin. But 8-year-old Jacob Rush from Ipswich wants the old Dennis back, complete with nasty bits as well. Victoria Webb has the report.
He's the first to admit he can be a bit of a menace himself. Like many boys his age, 8-year-old Jacob Rush enjoys getting up to mischief. He doesn't have Nasher, he has Tommy the cat. But don't be fooled, he has just as much bite. But lately, this Dennis the Menace fan hasn't been enjoying reading about the character's escapades as much as he used to. All because Dennis has fallen victim to a politically correct makeover.
They've removed any traces of nastiness of him, and they've toned him down, and I don't like that, because he's not as menacing as he used to be.
Unhappy with the new Dennis, who no longer gets up to no good with his pea shooter and water pistol, Jacob decided to write to bosses at the Beano to question the changes. He got his dad to send a follow-up letter in the hope of returning Dennis back to his boisterous self. A letter finally arrived through the post from the Beano to say they had to change Dennis to bring him in line with the BBC television series. It's not just Dennis who's changed in appearance and behaviour. Anyone picking up a copy of the Beano these days will notice that Asher's had a bit of a makeover too.
He doesn't bite people anymore, and his face is different as well.
Dennis is a comic figure, and I think the reason people have got a bit cross is because he's a nostalgic figure, he's a tradition, and people are getting tired of our traditions being changed.
From what bosses at the Beano say, it looks like the new Dennis is here to stay. Although Jacob couldn't change their minds, he did stand up to the establishment, something the old Dennis would have been proud of. Victoria Webb, Anglia News, Ipswich.
Well, Jacob, I went looking for a bit of just to sort of test out your theory. It's all a bit sanitised.
You had it in your bedroom.
Yeah, OK, I did, actually, yeah. Right. But I'd just like to say, actually, I'm not so sure it is completely gone. You know, look at this one. This is the annual for this year, and we've got a bit of toilet humour in there just up your street.
Oh, he's still rude, then?
You're still very rude. Got a bit of catapult action as well, further on as well.
Is Nasher still a biter? No, he's not anymore.
No, he's not. No, he's not doing the biting. Bit of underage driving. That's a bit naughty. There you go.
Now, here's what to expect on the national news in just a couple of minutes.
I'll bet it was a lot. Right, let's catch up with the weather now. Here's Amanda. See, I can't get it off her now. So much better than Girl Loves Pony or something, isn't it?
Walter gets a girlfriend.
See, trusting to find the romance in it as well. That's it for us.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.